Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the advances in technology in telephones. I'm talking about the old Western Electric dial and push button telephones to the electronic telephones that we have today. So, it's just an the old phones were the old phones had an electromagnetic bell ringer, so if I dial 555-1212, on the other end, that signal goes through the two wires into the phone, and it activates a solenoid inside the phone, which activates the striker. And the two bells inside the old phones were two separate dimensions. That when it rings, it would sound with two different kind of tones. The first phones came out with dial, and then we had the push button or the touch pads. Then you had the switch hook, and what that was when you put the receiver down, the little buttons on the Western Electric ones, and just like on the modern ones, and some of the modern ones, cordless phones don't have that. It's just a button that you press. But there's two little buttons when you set the receiver down. Those buttons come in contact with a switch, which is the switch hook, and it closes that. So it stops the signal. And then there's a ring bridge inside of it. What stops it doesn't stop the ringing. I have no idea exactly what that does. It just has a ring. It has something to do with DC voltage, because that's what a telephone is DC voltage. Yeah, and like I said, in the old phones, there was two different size bells or gongs inside of it, and when that striker hit it, when that electromagnet was activated in the solenoid, because that's what it is, it's a solenoid, that striker hits the two gongs, and that's what makes your phone ring. And on a lot of the older phones, there used to be a little control on the side that would make it louder or to make it a little bit quieter. And what that does is it just moves that striker farther away from it or closer to it. Then in the and most of the connections, and if you look at if you take out one of those old Western Electric phones apart, those connections from the line cord were just, it coming into the phone, and there was a strain relief, and they had these little terminals that screwed into a terminal block, or into a device that is what activated the phone. Now, technology has changed. During the 1970s is when modular technology came out, and that's what they call an RJ11 telephone jack. That is the RJ11 telephone jacks that we have today, and they use that modular technology also on handsets, but the handset ones are different. It's the same technology. It's a modular plug but they're different than the line cord. And now, when we get into the future telephones that we have now, the any desk phone, or you can still buy slim line type phones, like the old telephone company had, that the telephone company had, and basically that's all. It's all electronics. It's a circuit board inside the phone, and even with a cordless phone, but it's the same technology as the older phones. When you sit on the one that you buy for your desk, like the one that I have one, when you put that receiver down, it pushes that button down and presses the switch inside the phone on the circuit board. That's what stops the phone from being off the hook. On a cordless phone, you just press talk, and then you get a dial tone. And the ringing of the phone, where we had two gongs inside of an old telephone with a striker on an electromagnetic solenoid that would, when it was activated, that's what now it's more of an electronic tone. And the volume can be controlled. If it depends on the type of phone that you have. I believe that most of the phones that come out today, you can adjust it by a menu setting, but not like the old days when you had to. You just turn it down and it made the ring softer, or you turn it up and it made it louder. And what that did, like I said, it pulls that striker farther apart from it or closer to it. And thank you for watching.